On this week's episode, it's another edition of My Home in Portugal, where I speak to normal people who have discovered Portugal, fallen in love with Portugal, and bought a property in Portugal. This week, I'm joined by Fred De Bono, originally from Belgium. Fred is a TV producer, a former rock star, and he built a beautiful home right here on Portugal's Silver Coast. For those of you listening, head over to our YouTube channel to watch some of this episode. And for those of you watching, click down below and subscribe. And for the full podcast episode, head over to Stitcher, Google, Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. And now over to my conversation with Fred. Welcome back, or welcome to another episode of Portugal, The Simple Life. And it's another edition of My Home in Portugal. And it's an honor. And I'm really, really happy to be joined here by Fred De Bono. Fred, did I say it correctly?
Hello. Oh, yes, totally. Fred De Bono. Yeah.
You know, when you have to speak to all these different people around the world and then learn Portuguese names as well, and I'm always worried that I get people's names wrong. So I'm happy I got it right. Fred, why don't you start off telling us a little bit about you?
Sure. So I'm Fred. I'm 44. I'm a TV producer from Antwerp, Belgium. I'm actually half Italian, half Belgian, but I live in Antwerp. Besides, I have two sons, Scout and Mac, 14 and 13.
Cool names.
I have them every other week. The other week they're with my ex-wife. And I'm happily engaged to Brit, only very recently. She's also Belgian. She's an actress.
I mean, just take us through kind of, you mentioned a few of those things. I mean, you love the authenticity of the area as opposed to, I mean, you know, obviously when everyone thinks Portugal, they think Algarve, and you know, it's all kind of resorty type living and everything. It was that authenticity that appealed to you here.
Totally. I think I can, well, I'm 44. At the time I was probably, I don't know, 30, in my 30s, young 30s. We were listening to alternative music. We were like in the skate and the surf scene. You know, like we were partying and we were spending all of the summer on the beach and hanging with people and getting to know people. It was a magical time in the most fantastic way. And then without me even knowing where I was half the time and like discovering a country, you know, like in a period where you're not the happiest in your relationship and stuff like that. Yeah. That was actually a real breeze to be there and get to know a country in that state of mind. So yeah, I was in love with it before I even knew it.
You mentioned that this was your first time doing a project like this, a modern new build.
Yes.
That's quite a daunting thing for some people. What for you were the kind of the significant things that made you think, okay, this is, besides, I mean, you've mentioned the price, of course, but what are the things along with that where you're looking, going, this is going to be okay. This is something that I think I can do, and that you weren't too wary of.
Well, the thing is that I think you get a lot more house in Portugal for that price than you would get here. I've told this story so many times to friends and acquaintances. Like everything you get for the price that you pay in Portugal is just unreal, at least in my humble opinion. You know, like we were getting a detached house, all new, all spick and span, like with a garden, with a pool, everything new for just that amount that we paid. And I thought it was incredible. Not to like be too flattering to you guys, but I thought in that region with the mix of everything I mentioned before, like close to the beach and everything, I thought that wasn't real. I think for that amount, I could get a very old apartment here in Antwerp, you know, like on the 6th or 7th floor with not even a nice view. So just the fact that it was within my reach, you know, like in that area, located where it was, which was really important for me. I thought it was unreal. And then I just tried with everything I had to make the project work. So we really had a good choice. We had the biggest garden. So we had a lot of land. So yeah, it was unreal actually. It's like we felt like being in a candy store actually. You know, like you're buying something that is new. You have zero worries because yeah, everything is going to be new. I heard nothing but good about the project or the renovation itself or the build itself. So that was so nice to hear. And yeah, in retrospect, I'm really happy with everything how it turned out.
What do you want to say about Portuguese people and how much do they make this country?
Well, I think they're not too different from Flemish people or Belgian people for that matter. I think they pretty much like their privacy, you know, like they want to be respected. They have a lot of honor for their country and for themselves. I think you need to treat them with respect, as you should with anybody.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it takes some time getting used to them. You know, like you don't get it for free. I mean, they're super friendly, and they're super happy when you try at least to say a few words in Portuguese when you're there. But you have to earn their respect, and they will always help you with everything. But the thing is, it takes some time. Don't expect to like get it for free. You know, like show that you're willing to learn a thing or two, and then after a while, I think you'll have a great time.
Tell people a little bit. What do you want people to know about your second home village, your second
Nice
hometown?
that you pointed out the name. The name so nice is because I've looked it up, and actually it means leaving.
That's right.
Leaving Porto. I didn't know. So I think that's just a really cool name. Of course, what I get a lot is, oh, it's close to Porto. No, it's not. But the thing is, it's just so nice. There's actually a few road signs. You've probably spotted them as well. You know, like they have the names of the villages they have on tiles, and these tiles are in the form of a cross. I have a few tattoos of crosses and stuff like that. So I'm into all kinds of icons and stuff like that. And I think it's really cool, the heritage with Christianity, stuff like that. They just have amazing art, and it's just a road sign, you know, like it's on the side of the street, and it's the best. If I could, I would just take it and put it in my garden, you know, like just because it's so cool.
This conversation never happened. If it
Oh, they're so
disappears
nice.
one day, this conversation never happened.
I think there's two or three which are really cool. But apart from that, it's just it's a magical place. It's like you know, like for people that know the Silver Coast, or especially in São Martinho do Porto, you have the shell-shaped bay, and it's shell-shaped because you have the beach in the form of a shell, and then you have it's a mountain or a hill, whatever. You have cliffs going up, and you have the ocean peeping through. Now, Salinho do Porto is actually on one side of those cliffs, and it's built actually on the hill. And it sits so nicely on one side, like when the sun goes down, you know, like you have these flickering lights, and when you look at it from São Martinho do Porto, it's like really nice cascade building on that cliff, and you actually see our house when you're standing in São Martinho do Porto. So yeah, I have a lot of love for it. It's really tiny. It has these really narrow roads. It's in some part. It has a lot of white houses, and all the houses can almost look into the bay, so they all have nice views. And when you go up the hill, then you are immediately on the cliff, actually, and on the backside of the cliff, you only have nature. So you have these crisscross roads which go downhill. You can like take hikes on those cliffs. You just have wide open ocean view. It's amazing. It's amazing. You know, like there's not a single house on that side of the hill, and you could actually go all the way to Foz do Areio, or well, if you would go right, you would go into the ocean. But the thing is, it's just plain diamond in the rough, rocky nature.
You've got your family are busy preparing some stofvlees.
Stofvlees, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So I don't want to keep you too much longer, Fred. But I mean, let's just quickly. You mentioned you like food, the Portuguese food. What's your thoughts on the food?
Can we go back to Italy where we started off? The thing is, completely honest with you, it's not Italy. You know, it's not Italy, but that's totally fine. I was born and raised as an Italian, so I've had my fair share of pasta and pizza, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have to learn to appreciate it, I think. When I discovered Portugal, like 15 years ago, And I went there the first time. I remember like having my steak. I had some rice on top. I had a baked egg on top, and then they put some fries on the side. Like, and when you get it the first time, you're like, what the hell? This is like too much. I'm getting a heart attack. If you're into seafood, you're all good.
Yeah.
If you like rice and fries and eggs and meat, you're all good. But the thing is, yeah, you just have to look into it and
Yeah.
learn to appreciate it.
Yeah.
So if you like want to investigate into the area, just look no further. I mean, you have the best cities in real proximity. So do your research based on what you need to know about those places because they're fabulous. Like Nazaré or Peniche or Foch or of course Lisbon and Cascais even. Like everything is so close by. So look into that. And then about you guys, there's a few things which I really appreciated that you guys had. Like my accountant is actually from your group.
Yeah.
Her name
Sophia.
is Sophia, and she really helps me really well. I've You guys have interior decorators if you need some. Now, we did not choose to do that because it's kind of what I do as a job is really close to art director and set dressing and stuff like that. So we really had a good idea of what we wanted to do. But for people that don't have an idea, it's just so awesome that you guys also decorate and interior design places as well.
Question that we ask all of my home in Portugal guests on the podcast. Why do you feel at home in Portugal?
It's a double one for me. I have a feeling that my time in Portugal, my real time in Portugal, still has to come. Let's say in 5 or 10 years or something like that. I really want to invest more time, and I mean more time in my own house in the future. I feel like I've done it short the last 2 or 3 years, just by don't investing enough time in it. So I can't really call my house my home yet, but I do call Portugal my second home yet, just because I just feel good there. Like I feel good with the people. I feel good with the language. I've started taking some lessons already some time ago now, and I know it's hard when you want to learn it. Let's be honest. It's not an easy language, but it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be. Like I did 10 lessons. I think I retained nothing from it, but I will do it again. Like I will invest in it, and that's no problem. So the thing is, I'm just looking forward to spending more time there and maybe spending my old day there. So I will call it my real home in a few years, probably.
Wonderful. Thank you
Yeah,
so much for being on the podcast, Fred. I've loved
sure.
this conversation. And
No
this
problem.
you're a TV producer, so this won't be a strange one for you, but I'm going to let you call it.
That's a wrap.
So thank you once again to our guests, and thank you to all of you for listening. Please subscribe, share with your friends, give us a thumbs up, and please leave a comment or a review. We always love to hear from you. Don't forget, Portugal The Simple Life also has a magazine, so download it. It's for free. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode, and as we say in Portugal, sejas bem-vindo. Welcome to The Simple Life.